Hi guys, this is Additional Mathematics Form 4 textbook question for Chapter 9, Solution of Triangle, Intensive Practice 9.4. My name is Terry. If you enjoyed this video, kindly like, subscribe, and leave us a comment. Now, let's get straight to the first question. Here we have a diagram that shows the view of a dollhouse built by Melly. So, the color part is the veranda, and PTS, QSQ, PQR, they are straight lines. So you're supposed to calculate area of the roof QRST. So the first thing is we know that to find the area of QRST, we need to find, maybe I highlight for you, area of this whole thing, then you subtract the shaded region, the color part, which is the veranda roof. So but to find the whole thing, I need to have this angle over here, right? So the angle over here we can find by using SOHCAHTOA. Now, if you look at the triangle that we have here, triangle PTQ, we already know this is 5, we know this length is 4, and QT we know is 3. I don't have to show you Pythagoras, right? We know it's 3, 4, 5. To find this angle here, TPQ, we can use sine, cos, or tangent. Now for me, because I'm given the length 4 and 5, so I think I'll just use cos. Yeah, cos TPQ is 4 over 5. Angle TPQ, if you use your calculator, is 36.87. Okay, oops, this is not the final answer yet. So we need to find the area of the big one. Now if you notice that the whole thing, the big triangle looks like this. This is PRS, and if I take 5 plus 6, I will get 11 meter, not cm, cm, sorry, this is cm, and 4 plus 10, I got 14 cm, and we know this angle is the same, 36.87, so we can use half AB sine C to find this area. So basically your area of QRST is area of triangle PSR, okay, or PRS minus area of triangle PQT. Okay, triangle PQT. So PSR, I use half AB sine C. For PQT, your base is a right angle triangle, so your base is 4, your height is 3. Just use your calculator, calculate one shot. I got 40.20. Okay. Now for part B, you're supposed to find angle SUP, given that SU equals to SR. Now look at the diagram. SU equals to SR, and U lies on PR. So we know that it should be somewhere here. U should be somewhere here, such that these two are equal length. And we have to find this angle here. Now the problem is, I don't have the length of SQ. I don't even know the length of SR. But SQ, SR, they are actually the same. If I can find SR, I can find SU. And once I found SU, I can actually find this angle here by using sine rule, since I really know this angle and I know the length of PS. Okay, maybe I start off by finding SR from this triangle. Okay, to find SR, I'm going to use cosine rule. Now remember, cosine rule, we take the opposite side. We write the formula is A squared equals B squared plus C squared minus 2BC cos A. So your SR is your A. Your B and C will be the length of two adjacent sides. 11 and 4, you square them. 11, 14. Then you cos the angle in between, 36.87. Take your calculator, square root this whole thing. You should get 8.402. Okay, now once you know this is 8.402, so I'm going to continue over here. I'm going to draw a second triangle for you. Not so long. This triangle is like this. This is PQS. This is now 11. This is QS, and QS is the same as SR, which is 8.402. And this angle is also 36.87. So to find PQS, yeah, not PQ, PU, sorry, I said wrongly, PUS, yeah, we need to find, we need to use sine rule. Now, the question say SUP. SUP, PUS is the same. So I'm going to use sine angle SUP divided by 11 sine 36.87 divide 8.402. Okay, use your calculator. Sine 36.87 divide 8.402 times 11. Whatever you get, you shift sine. Now, the thing is, because it's an obtuse angle, you can see from here, it's clearly an obtuse angle. So we need to take 180 minus 51.77. When you use your calculator, you get 51.77. Now remember sine. When you use sine rule, there are two possibilities. The angle can be acute, can be obtuse. If it's acute, then the answer is 51.77. But if it's obtuse, you have to take 180 minus, and I will get 128.23. Now, if you know why is it so, why we take 128.23 instead of 51.77, because when you use this triangle, this is actually 51.77. Since these two are equal length, 51.77, this is also 51.77, the angle next to it is this is a straight line. We just take 180 minus to get the obtuse angle, right? Okay, by the way, check the answer given in the textbook is 125.63. I have no idea why they give this answer, so I verify. Yeah, the correct answer should be 128.23. All right, let's move on to the next question. Question number 2. So here we have diagram shows the position of an oil rig, a tanker and a helicopter. The bearing of the helicopter from the tanker is 40. All right. The distance between helicopter and the tanker is 13 is given here. This one is 10. You're finding the distance between the tanker and the oil rig. Okay, so number one, once you know this bearing is 40, we know this is, yeah, you can see is to the right. So we can say that this angle is 50, right? 90 minus 40, the angle here is 50. Now, the thing is to find the distance, right? We need to know this angle. But before you can find this angle, we need to find this angle first. So I'm going to call this angle theta, because we know the opposite length. I can use this angle 50, and I can divide it with the opposite length 10 kilometer. So we use a sine rule here. Sine rule, remember, we can write down whatever we're finding sine theta on top. The opposite length is 13 kilometer. Sine 50, the opposite length is 10. Now use your calculator. First we type sine 50, they divide by 10 times 13 and shift sine. I got 84.78. Yeah, we know this is an acute angle, not an obtuse, you can see from here. So if you want to find this angle alpha, alpha will be 180 minus 50 minus 84.78, and this will give us 45.22. Yeah, if I know this is 45.22, we can find the distance between the ship, the tanker and the oil rig. We can just call it x here. So we take x divide by sine alpha. Alpha is 45.22. Let's take another ratio. Let's take 10 kilometer divide by sine 50. Yeah. Now you can also use cosine rule to do this. Both sine rule, cosine rule also can work. So 10 divide sine 50 times sine 45.22. I got 9.3188. Okay, let me just verify. Sine 50 sine 45.22. Okay, I think I wrote wrongly, typed wrongly. Yeah? So yeah, actual answer is 9.266. Okay, just so you know, this is a meter, kilometer. Now, just so you know, you can also use cosine rule. Now, if you want to use cosine rule, your x square is now 10 square, 13 square, 2, 10, 13. Cos of the angle between 45.22, and if you square root this, you still get the same answer. Alright, that is question number 2. Let's move on to question number 3. Okay, so this one you're given a box, a gift box in the shape of a cuboid, and you're supposed to calculate area of AC cube. I think I don't need to redraw the diagram for you. You can see here ACD is a right angle triangle, so this is right angle. So maybe I find one by one. I start by finding AC. AC is 8 square, 4 square, square root. This is going to give us square root 80, right? 64 plus 16 is 80. Now then you transfer 4 cm over here, 6 cm over here. You can transfer 8 cm over here. Maybe I find QC first. QC is 8 square plus 6 square square root. This is fairly simple, 10, right? They're all in cm. Now for AQ, we'll take 4 square plus 6 square square root. 16 plus 36 is square root 52. So now that I know the length of all these sides, so I'm going to draw this out for you, so it's easier for you to see. This is Q, this is A, this is C. AC is square root 80, AQ is square root 52, QC is 10 cm, and you want to find the area. So we can use Heron's law. Now when you use Heron's law, you always have to start by finding the semi-perimeter, which is square root 80 plus 10 plus square root 52. Use your calculator, divide by 2. Now to enhance the accuracy, I suggest use more decimal points. So here usually we use 3 decimal, now we use 4. Yeah, 13.0777, and your area is given by square root of 13.0777. Take the first length, maybe I do square root 80 first, minus 13.0777. Second length, square root 8, you can write 52 first, 13.0777, and 10 minus 13.0777. Sorry, no space. Yeah, very ugly. Just use your calculator, type everything in one line. I got 31.241. Okay, you can also use cosine rule, but to find, let's say, this angle, and then you use area triangle half AB sine C, right? That is also applicable, right? So now let's look at part B. Okay, actually that is only part A. I haven't finished this yet. Part B, they ask for another plane which has the same area as plane AC cube. Now the most important thing to get the same area, you must have the same length. So there are actually a lot of possibility. For example, I can actually move, instead of Q, right, I move this Q, moved over here. Now because SC is actually the same length as AQ, right? So and AS is the same length as QC, so I can just join this together and say another one, yeah, another plane will be ACS. Yeah, but there are more than one answer actually. This is not only the only answer. We can actually change, for example, instead of using AC, I join BD together, because BD and AC, they will be the same length, the same they have the same, they are both diagonal of the rectangle, same length. So and then maybe I join B and R together, because BR and QC, they are actually equal length. And lastly, I join DR together, because DR and AQ, they are equal length, right? So okay, this answer is also okay, it's also applicable. So I just write this as B, D, R. Okay, I give you one more. There's too many answers, because I think the textbook gave us gave another answer. Yeah, they gave DBR. I put BD. It's the same thing. Yeah, maybe I write here DBR. This is the answer given in the textbook. But you can also do another one. DBP is also another option. Yeah, but a bit hard to see. Yeah, DBP. Okay, just choose one with you. Okay, let's move on. Question number 4. So here we have a ship that sailed for 20 kilometers to Port Bentara at the bearing 120 from Port Astaka. So then they sail 30 kilometers to Port Chindai at the bearing of 225. Now use in KBS, and they, students used to learn in Form 5 whole chapter of bearing, but now you don't learn bearing. So yeah, you get to use a bit of common sense and things that you learn from in geography, right? So we start off with maybe point A here. You need to sketch. This is port Astaka, because you started from Astaka, and then you sail 20 kilometer. Put the north here, 20 kilometer at the bearing 120. Now 120 means like this, 120. Okay. Now, then the ship sail 30 kilometer at the bearing of 225. Okay, 225. Okay, 225. This is 180. Yeah? 225 means I have to go 45 degree around here. Okay, and then we join this together. This is Bentara. This is Port Chindai. Now, one thing we can do is we know that if both are north, right, these two angles plus together must be 180. They are what we call interior angle. Total interior angle is 180. 180 minus 120, you get 60, right? So another thing is we know that since this is 225, this angle should be 45, and therefore the angle in between here should be 75. 180 minus 60 minus 45 is 75. Now remember, the distance between Bentara and Astaka is 20 kilometer, and distance between Bentara to Chindai is 30 kilometer. So we've got all the measurement already, and now we can use cosine rule to find the length distance between Astaka and Chindai AC. So we take AC square equals to 20 square plus 30 square to 20 30 cos angle in between. So my AC is 31.455 kilometer. I just use your calculator. All right, now, but we're not done yet. We also need to find the bearing. We got a distance from Astaka to Chindai AC, but to find the distance, to find the bearing, I need to find this angle. Let's call this theta, right? I'll say sine theta divided by 30 kilometer equals to sine 75 divided by your AC. AC is 31.455. Use your calculator. Sine 75 divide by 31.455 times 30. Shift sign. My angle theta is 67.11. But we're not done. Bearing, remember, is measured from north. So we got 120. You need to plus 67.11. The final answer is 187.11. Okay. Moving on to question number 5. So this one is not so much solution on triangle, because it's more like trigonometry that you learn in Form 3. Yeah, because you don't have to use sine rule, cosine rule. Just use SOHCAHTOA will do. Here, the elevation angle of a peak of a mountain from Asman is 20 degrees. So I can draw a horizontal line. This is 20 degrees. Now, because the question, you read the whole question, they didn't mention about the height of Asman, the eye level. So we can assume that Asman is a one tiny boy. So yeah, the eye level is here. So angle elevation is 20. So I draw up to here. This angle is 20. This is from initial position of Asman, and this is the peak of a mountain. Then Asman walked horizontally towards the mountain that is 800 meters away. I think the question should say Asman walked 800 meters. Yeah, not very clear. Yeah, that's the problem. You should mention he walks 800 meters, because a lot of people tend to think that the mountain is 800 meters away from him. No, the mountain is not 800 meters away from him. He walks 800 meters and reaches the second point, B. So this is 800 meters, right? And the elevation angle, or we call it angles of elevation, becomes 45. So this is 45. All right, and estimate the height of the mountain from the level of Asman's position. Okay, we don't know the height of the mountain. You can perhaps we know this 90 degree. Maybe I call this a C. The height of your mountain is PC. We can call it H, right? Since this is 45, this is 90, this is also 45. So that means it is an isosceles right angle triangle. Therefore, BC and PC are the same. This should be just H. So what we can do to find H is that we can use tangent, right? Tangent 20 is opposite. Look at the whole triangle, the big triangle here, H divided by 800 plus H. Say this again, focus on the the big triangle here, see, your opposite is h, your adjacent is 800 plus h. So let's multiply over. So what I found is that if you round off, then your answer may not be the same as the answer at the back of the textbook. So perhaps we'll just leave it in terms of tangent. It's better that way. We bring this over. So this is 800 tangent 20. So when you take h minus h, I hope you're okay if I write 1 minus. Yeah, I write 1 minus tangent 20, factorize the h straight away. So h is 800 tangent 20, 1 minus tangent 20. Just use your calculator, type it in. This is the most accurate answer, 457.803. Yeah, because if you were to round off, right, yeah, use your calculator and type this in, then you have to use a lot more decimal point, yeah, to avoid rounding off too early. All right, guys, that's the end of this. But before we go, yeah, remember we have a collection of lots of books, learning modules, yeah, comes with video tutorial, topical practice, past year question, drill practice, and so on. If you're interested to know, to find out more, get in touch with us through WhatsApp, email, our callers, or even our website. Yeah, and you can also purchase our material from our Teliti Shopee account. Right, just go to Shopee, search for Pusat Tuition Teliti. Yeah, you can purchase this and have the book delivered to your doorstep. Thank you very much for joining me. Hope to see you in the next video.